Millcreek Made means we are made right here and we have stayed here and love it. I'm Mike McLaughlin. I teach at Tracy Elementary in the Millcreek School District. I think Millcreek Made to me is really about, I was born and raised right here. 54 years old, I've lived here my whole life. I actually live in the house I grew up in. I bought my parents' house after they passed away, and I've raised 4 kids there myself. And so we spend all our time here. I mean, we use the peninsula. We've been to Waldameer hundreds of countless times. So I think Millcreek Made to me is being here, living here, staying here. Too many people move away these days, and I think here is a unique thing because I can tell you how many people that I work with even, that we went to school together. Maybe we graduated a few years apart or whatnot, but Millcreek Made means we are made right here and we have stayed here and love it. Millcreek as a community, I think, this entire area is so large. You know, Millcreek itself is actually bigger than the city. You know, we surround it, and what that community is like is, how do I want to word this? I think it's like a big, small community. You know, it is a big community, and yet I love the fact that I can go somewhere and sit down at a restaurant, and I'm probably going to know at least one other person sitting there and be able to have a conversation, if not just at least a hey, how you doing type thing. So as a community, it's amazing how we can bond together, and they talk about 6 degrees of separation in the world. Well, I think in Millcreek it's 2, no more than 2, because if you don't know somebody there, you know somebody who knows somebody there. And I love that fact. And so to me, as a community, we come together in times of need and in times of joy. I know at Tracy, just as a family, that we are there, that we've had some terrible, tragic events that have happened to some of our staff and to some of our students there. And it's amazing how as a community we pull together, and it isn't just at Tracy that it happens, you know, that it happens through our church community and through the clubs and things that we belong with as well, and how those people all pull together and really team up and help celebrate those fantastic times that happen in life as well. Millcreek is unique in the fact, I guess it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about the big little community, but I think what's unique is that I feel like we're always growing. We're still growing as a community in the things that we're doing as far as, say, Waldameer itself and how they've expanded. I mean, when I was a kid, it was a small little park. We used to go to Connie at Lake Park to go to the big park. And now that's gone, and Waldameer is so much more than that was. So that's just one of the ways that we are growing and making us unique here. We have the peninsula, which attracts people from all over the place. And I think sometimes we forget as Millcreek people how wonderful it is. You know, we have, I believe we're in like the top 10 sunsets of the world, and we take it for granted a lot. You know, sometimes I know my wife and I, we go down and have some ice cream at Sarah's, watch the sunset and stuff, and we think, how many people have not done this in years? You know, and what a missed opportunity that would be. So we have a unique ability to have such a great area here for tourism as well as development now in other areas, such with the factories coming down, but the technologies that are coming into play now. I would describe Millcreek to someone who's looking to move here or maybe come back here as a great place that you could settle down, raise a family in a safe area, get a great education. The school district is phenomenal, but it's a great place to live in the fact that you can see shows here in the Erie area. You can go to the peninsula in the summertime. There's outdoor activities, there are indoor activities. We have a science museum and an art museum in the area. Everything that you need in a big city is right here. And we're close to the other big cities if you want to go see a NFL game or an NHL game. We're close enough that you can go to any of those places in a day. And so Millcreek is very centrally located. It's a safe place to be, and it's a great place to raise that family. With my parents moving here back in the 50s, one of my dad's best friends, my Uncle Joe, he was Millcreek Police Chief from 1959 to 1981, and that was a time when Millcreek was growing exponentially, and I just think that he set the tone for what a safe community would be like, and I'd like to thank him personally for doing that, even though he's not around anymore. I think my favorite Millcreek moment is a Millcreek School District moment. I went to Millcreek schools. I went to Ridgefield, I went to J.S. Wilson, ended up at McDowell, graduating from there in '87. Because my kids grew up in the house I grew up in, they went through those schools as well. And Millcreek has a tradition for chorus. It's actually happening tonight, and it's district chorus, and all students from 5th grade up that sing in chorus get to be on stage and do their concert for the whole community, not just for the parents and things, but it's for the whole community. And the very last song that they do, they've been doing since before I went to school there, and they ask all the alumni and everybody to come up. So once my youngest was in 5th grade at Ridgefield, we were all on stage together. We got to sing that song. It's just a great moment. Tradition. I love the tradition of that, you know, my sister can go up there, and she's quite a bit older than me, but she gets to go up there, and we get to do that as a whole family. It's a wonderful moment to look back on and remember those times, and I hope someday I can do that same thing, if I live long enough, for my grandchildren and be up there at the same time. For me, if I could help plan what the future would look like for Millcreek as a school district, I'd like it to go in the direction of being one of the leaders of the pack again. Forward-thinking people, but still looking back on the traditions of things, and good old school teaching is still good old school teaching. And as a community in general, I think we're heading in the right direction with developing different areas and working on our tourism. We're working on the bayfront areas and the peninsula area. And I would love to see those things just grow exponentially, because we have the ability here to make Millcreek be one of those fantastic tourist destinations, especially in the summer. But even in the winter, we have all the local things too, with the skiing and things like that, all the outdoor activities that we're working on. And if I could see that grow and make our community one of those to-be spots, I think that would be a great direction for us to head. I think my connection to Millcreek started long before I was born. My parents moved here in 1955. It was farmland. They tell stories of the cows walking down the road and having to call up to the main house and, you know, say, hey, the gate must be open, you're losing your cows. And I think that connection started because I grew up here. My parents loved it here. I loved it here. I've made all kinds of friends here going through the school system, and so many of those people that I'm still friends with still live and work here in our community. I remember being young and thinking, oh, I'm gonna go move to New York City one day and do great things, make lots of money. And then somehow I decided I never wanted to leave here. I don't understand when people are like, I gotta get out of here. By 20, I'm like, I'm going to college here. I still love it here. It's a great place to raise a family. I think I came out okay. I think my kids have come out okay. So I think my connection here is all those roots that we put down and how those roots are all interconnected with everybody else that has chosen to stay here and make this a great place to live. We are Millcreek Made.